Hey guys, you may not know that I have quite a big interest in the world of home theatre. And just like the Android head units that I deal with all the time, you can get very low priced, good spec projectors. However, it's quite a minefield trying to find a good one, just like in the world of Android head units. So you've seen that I've been doing some reviews on these projectors. So today's video is on the XGODY Sail 1. This projector here, as you can see, it says full HD smart projector, and it does have pretty nice packaging. Now, one of the things that I would have liked to have seen is their brand, but that's just packaging, and you know, maybe that's something that they can work on in the future. Right, let's get it out of the box. And here it is. And before I go into it, let's have a look at what else was in the box. So we have an English instruction manual, a HDMI cable, power lead, an AV lead for analog composite video, and the remote control. And if we have a closer look at this remote control, you can see it actually looks pretty sleek and stylish. And more importantly, you can see buttons for Netflix and Prime Video specifically. And that is very interesting, because one of the things with cheaper projectors is that you don't get working Netflix. So it will be interesting to see how this one functions. And the projector itself is sturdy and well made. You do get some projectors which are really cheap and nasty, but this one is heavy, robust, and it just really feels like it is quality. On the top here we have some illuminated capacitive touch buttons. On this side we have a USB entry point, a couple of HDMI inputs. That's great that we have a choice of two. You have the analog AV input, which is what that wire was for that I showed you. We've got an analog audio out via headphone jack here. And then we have a micro SD card input just here as well, which is a nice touch. On the other side, we have the focus wheel. And on the front here, aside from the lens, you also have the remote sensor here. And underneath you can see it has its rubber feet, and it has these copper holes where you can screw it to a mount. And then here you have a adjustable tilt screw, but if we actually take this out completely, you will see that it actually has a hole that you can use for a tripod as well, and that is something that I will be using it with here. So the party trick of this particular projector is that it has this flap behind here, and if we open this up, you will see that it actually has a stick in here, and it is a HDMI stick. And it's this thing here that's going to have the latest Play Store, and it's going to allow you to run the latest version of the TV version of Netflix and Amazon Prime and all of those apps that you have difficulty installing on some Android projectors. This one should allow you to have full access to everything. So let's plug this back in and actually boot up this projector and have a look. And here we go. The XGODY Sail 1 projector has been set up. But before we get into it, let me just show you how I've set it up. So as you can see here, I have the XGODY very crudely set up here on a camera tripod on my sofa. I have the Xbox Series X here connected to it using one of the HDMI inputs. And I have a 3.5mm jack, which is going to the amplifier. So we have some audio out, but I will tell you about the internal speaker as well. And you can see that it is currently shooting onto my VividStorm 120-inch screen, but it's only producing around 100 inches at the 3 meters that I have it away from the screen at the moment. So we'll start with the physical setup of the device. As you can see, I have it physically mounted on a tripod because it does actually have that mount. But it also has screws underneath if you want to mount it to a ceiling bracket as well. Focusing is done manually with the wheel on the side here. And to get to the keystone correction, you need to press the AV button on the remote control. Move it across to settings, move down to 4D keystone, and you have the ability to manually control the keystone correction here. This is very basic control for keystone correction, but it does allow when the screen is not straight, and it also allows rotation as well. So if your projector isn't sitting absolutely perfectly straight, you can rotate the screen slightly to try to get it completely straight as well. Now when it comes to setting up the software side of this, it was a breeze. It runs a version of Android TV. It's actually the latest version of Android TV, and the setup basically just involved entering your Google credentials so that you can access the Google Play Store and all the features of it, and that was pretty much it. What you can see on the screen at the moment is the actual Android TV dashboard, and you can see it has various applications already installed, and this is different from all the other projectors that I've reviewed, and you have to sideload an old version of Netflix because the new version doesn't work and some of the other videos don't work. But on this, every app works, even the very latest version of Netflix, which I'll show you now. And as you can see, Netflix works absolutely fine and it doesn't stutter at all, which adds to the benefit of having that TV stick that's built into this projector, because that is where Android TV lives, is a TV stick built into the projector, which instantly makes the software in this much better than any of the other projectors that I've reviewed. And for the sake of the video, I'll show you Prime Video as well. And as you can see, it works absolutely fine, again with no lag whatsoever. And we'll just try Disney Plus as well to make sure that that works okay. And yeah, so Disney Plus works absolutely fine as well. So top marks on the software side with this projector and its TV stick. It's absolutely brilliant. No need to go out and buy yourself an Amazon Prime stick because it actually has one built in and it's going to do everything straight out of the box. Right, let's talk about the image of the projector here, starting with the brightness. Now, XGODY has stated on their website that this projector is somewhere between 600 to 700 ANSI lumens. As you can see, I'm in a lit room and you can still see the projector image quite clearly. And it is very vivid, the colors are very vivid, and it is a sharp image as well. And again, this is a native 1080p projector. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn the lights off to see if I can improve the contrast a bit for you to see. Now with the lights off, you can really appreciate the beauty of the image and how well the colors and the contrast work. Indeed, any ambient light does actually negatively impact the image, as it does with any projector, but in absolute darkness like this is at the moment, you can really see the absolute pinpoint precision quality in this 1080p projector. The XGODY Sail does do a great job. Now, one thing about the focus of this projector, even though it is very sharp indeed, as I can see at the moment, blurs a little bit at the edges. When I was focusing it, I was using a focus point in the center of the screen so I could get that absolutely pinpoint sharp. But what I noticed was images at the sides of the screen were going slightly out of focus if I was focusing on the center of the screen. And then again, if I focused on something on this side of the screen, the center of the screen went out of focus. So I couldn't quite get it to focus across the entire screen absolutely perfectly, but as you can see on the screen here, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because it still does produce a very good image indeed. Right, let's turn the Xbox on and try it out with some gaming. So I'm going to press AV and go to HDMI 1. Yeah, and it looks absolutely fine. Well, let's check out the input latency and see how long it takes to react. So I'm going to push the button and we'll see how long it takes to actually fire the gun. Which brings us to audio quality. So there's three things that I want to talk to you about here. The first is the built-in speaker. So you're not really going to be able to hear it or appreciate it over the microphone that I have here. But I will say that it is pretty loud. It doesn't have a great deal of range and it's pretty tinny, like the majority of projector built-in speakers. But it will do the job if you just want to use this as a portable projector and you just need some sound to go with your video. Now, it does have that audio out, and that is what I'm using at the moment. You can see that I have these tower speakers either side of my screen. It was very simple to plug a wire into this projector and have it feed to my sound system, and that might be what a lot of you are going to do. The other thing that I like to talk about from an audio perspective is audible noise coming from the projector. As always, projectors have a very powerful bulb which generates a lot of heat and therefore needs to have active cooling, and that means that you need to have a fan. And the fan on the XGODY Sail 1 is audible, like you can hear it. As you can see from my 3 decibel meter here, the audio in this room is hovering around the 40 decibels range, which apparently is the same as a quiet library. It's not crazy loud like you can get on some projectors, but I can definitely know that it's there. And that's about it when it comes to the XGODY Sail 1 projector. If you're looking for a budget projector, it is definitely worth considering. If I missed anything in this video, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments section below, and I'll see if I can answer any questions you might have. And of course, if you like this kind of content, please do hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to have lots more content coming up.